Topuria.
Ilia Topuria.
Ilia Topuria.
Oh, he's fighting against Ilia Topuria.
Topuria is a nightmare.
Ilia Topuria is an undefeated force who could be destined for greatness.
I'm going to be a legend.
Ilia Topuria is the real deal.
Ilia Topuria is a real assassin.
Ilia Topuria has knocked Ryan Hall out cold.
It's showtime. It's time to take the UFC to Spain. And Conor McGregor, if you still have some I will be waiting for you in Spain.
Ilia Topuria, next McGregor, Jose Aldo, Conor McGregor, Max Holloway, Alexander Volkanovski, and now the new UFC featherweight champion of the world, Ilia Topuria. Georgian fighter just entered in the elite fighters group. Ilia Topuria is making waves in the UFC, reminding many of Conor McGregor's rise to fame. With knockout power and a skill for entertainment, Topuria is quickly becoming a fan favorite. But can Topuria become as big a star as Conor McGregor? Why he could be the new Conor McGregor? Two fighters, similar paths, and the knack to shock the world. Ilia Topuria and Conor McGregor share similarities that go beyond their fighting skills. Both fighters made a name for themselves by knocking out the best. Topuria finished Alexander Volkanovski, the new GOAT of featherweight division, just as McGregor famously knocked out Jose Aldo, one of the best, and by that time, #1 ranked P4P fighter in 13 seconds. This not only put them in the spotlight, but also showcased their power against the very best. Being from Europe, both fighters bring a unique fan base in the UFC. If arenas were crowded with Irish flags several years ago, now we see proud Georgian and Spanish people behind El Matador. Such a support brings lots of attention to the organization, and UFC loves fighters like them. This European connection adds to their appeal, making their rise in the UFC a source of pride for fans back home. Remarkably, both fighters achieved a 6-0 win streak in the UFC, and at their 7th fight, they both earned a title shot, highlighting their unstoppable nature inside the octagon. Their knack for trash talk adds to their personas, making each fight an event that fans don't want to miss. And guess what? Mystic Mac was famous for predicting the rounds of knockouts, and Ilia does the same. Outside of the cage, both fighters enjoy dressing well, having eye-catching tattoos, even having the same tattoo on their backs, driving luxury cars, and leading expensive lifestyles. But what makes both fighters special is their confidence. They not only talk the talk, but also walk the walk. While some may perceive them as arrogant, it's their confidence that influences others, making us believe in their words. Words as sharp as their punches, defining moments outside the fights. Both McGregor and Topuria know how to use words to their advantage, and Ilia tries to borrow all the best actions from Conor, like stealing Jose Aldo's belt during a press conference. Topuria, echoing McGregor, used similar tactics against Volkanovski. He also borrowed McGregor's own words.
It's showtime. It's time to take the UFC to Spain. And Conor McGregor, if you still have some I will be waiting for you in Spain.
This ability to get into their opponents' heads, combined with their in-ring skills, sets them apart as entertainers as well as fighters. Ilia didn't have easy fights before getting a title shot, but he made it look easy to win against elite fighters. The hardest battle he had was in his debut against Yusuf Zalal, which he took on 10 days short notice, but still managed to win. After that, he started knocking people out cold, including highlights against Damon Jackson and Ryan Hall. Topuria also showed the heart of a lion in the lightweight division against Jai Herbert. He was dropped by the English fighter, but managed to deliver a brutal KO in the second round. The more top fighters he faced, the easier it seemed to win for Ilia. El Matador submitted a featherweight top 10 fighter and BJJ black belt Bryce Mitchell after demolishing him in striking. Georgian destroyed Josh Emmett, where one of the rounds was historically scored as 10-7 and guaranteed himself an undisputed title shot against the great Volkanovski. What lies ahead? More than just fights, but legacy. The future looks bright for Ilia Topuria, following in the footsteps of Conor McGregor. He's not just fighting for titles, but for his place in history. With every fight, he wants to build the legacy. He is challenging McGregor to write the history. He wants to defend the belt and fight against McGregor's top rival, Khabib Nurmagomedov's closest friend, student, and family member, Islam Makhachev, to become another double champion, just like Conor McGregor. Can Ilia become double champ like Conor? What are Ilia's chances against Makhachev? Makhachev is currently one of the best fighters, boasting remarkable wrestling and ground skills, endurance, strength, and proficient striking. However, Ilia has been a wrestler since childhood. Additionally, Ilia's shorter stature might actually play to his advantage. advantage. 1. It's generally more challenging to take down a shorter wrestler. 2. It's hard to control them on the ground. And 3rd, Ilia's boxing style, which focuses on working the body before moving up to the face, is particularly effective against taller opponents. Makhachev, despite his strengths, has suffered a knockout loss in the UFC. Unlike Khabib, Makhachev believes he has a good chance in striking exchanges. He has knocked out Volkanovski and dropped Oliveira, but this confidence in striking could be detrimental. Spending more time in striking exchanges increases the likelihood of Ilia landing his powerful shots. From MMA to boxing, like Conor versus Floyd, and El Matador will not stop at double champ status, but he's aiming to fight in the boxing ring too, just like Conor did against Floyd Mayweather. Ilia Topuria, on the path to greatness, is not just chasing titles, but a legacy that could echo through UFC history. Conor really changed this sport and moved to another level. We have seen brutal wrestlers, kickboxers, and jitsers, but no one was making noise like the Irishman. However, Ilia has the charisma, support from fan base, and what's most essential, the skill set in the striking or in the wrestling to fight anyone in his weight category. Click on the next video where we talk about the man that changed UFC forever.